Hello, everyone. This is Barbara Iris Alsu of Parental World Knowledge. I want to welcome everyone. I'm the founder and the owner. And in addition, I'm the president of artist Barbara Alsu Fine Art Studio. We're going to be doing more watercolor painting. You have your canvas material. It's just like the regular canvas. It has the reinforcements on the side. The art supply store. It's not my camera, it's Google Hangouts camera, but at any rate, because I have an HD camera and it's the best of the line. You also need watercolor paints, and you should have non-toxic, and they come in a palette, and they usually don't have white, so you're going to need a liquid white. And this is how it comes. It comes in a tube, so you have to get a liquid white, and I would get it again in our supply store. You also need several size brushes. So it should be artist brushes. And you need an artist sponge, a little more porous than a regular sponge. You put it down, bring it up, takes off the excess water and paint. In addition, you need a good artist eraser. It doesn't tend to dry out. I've had mine for, I guess 8 years, and it has never dried out. Regular eraser, it does, and then it's going to make smudge marks. And you have to layer. You don't want to have to make more layering, so it's best to have a good eraser. And you can use a regular pencil, that's fine. And then you need color pencils. When you're done, you want to make it 3D. It has to be all dry, and use the color pencils to match as close as you can. All right, so we can begin as long as you have a line drawing. If not, please do a line drawing. If you don't have an imagination where you can, do your own line drawing, use a prop. And when you use a prop, please don't copy exactly, because another artist designed that. And when I say a line drawing, say it's an apple, it's going to be the circular part of the apple that you're going to draw, and just the stems. You don't have to draw every, and maybe the little, piece, the little stem and leaves. That's it. The little stem and the leaves, not every line. You paint that on with the watercolor. All right, and think of what you want to do. I mean, I'm doing, you see, New York, skyline, but you paint what you want, because that comes out the best. And if you can't, say you don't have a prop, you can't do it, a line drawing, maybe you're just not able to do that either, because some people can draw and some people can't. Painting, maybe you're great excelling at that, but maybe the drawing part isn't. So you could do a computer printout. The computer printout can be on a good quality piece of paper, sort of like the canvas, not just like a thin piece of, computer paper, but a good quality, and then paint right over that. That's acceptable in any juried show. All right, so then I didn't think so, but that's the case. So you can just do that. So please just enjoy your painting. Don't worry about it being perfect, and that's all that counts. All right, so we're going to begin and do gentle strokes. It's not a very large, it's mid-sized paper, so you're not going to be able to do too big strokes. So just like gentle strokes. Otherwise, you're going to go into the next object. And if you need to even dot on, you can dot on. You can dot on your paint and use very little water. It's best to use more paint, but not the water. Water, you need to just brush off. So you have a jar, or you have a bowl, whatever it is, just brush off on the top. And then you won't be having too much. And I'll tell you, I apologize for being a little late, but I did go here before 5, and then I'm having a little trouble again. Every time I go on with security, it's not clearing, and then I go on to Google Hangouts, I can't get on. I keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. So I don't know what goes on. I can't even do like my announcement. Usually, it's able to invite people. I can't even do that. So it ends up, I have to push there's a little box to the right on the bottom, and I push my message that we're about to air. I can't even believe this, that I can't even get it to properly do it. It should be that it gives an invitation to people. So I'm sorry to be a little late. And then yesterday, all my power went out. My son has this old heater from 12 years, and I told him he needs to replace it. And it just blew everything out in my house. And I need to use it because it's not enough. We have, 2 brand new ones, but the thing is, it's not enough to heat up the entire, office and the home. So I told him this. I said to go buy it, and he didn't. He had borrowed some money from somebody. My father passed away recently, and so we've been doing a lot of renovation in the house. And he had borrowed. He wanted to pay it back, and I said pay it back in increments of 100. Each 2. The entire thing was $400. Penny, so you now we can't buy it. I mean, I can't even believe this. And because I just paid the taxes, and now I have to pay the surtax. And the best one yet, I don't have a heater because he tried. I mentioned this earlier on another segment. He tried to put a heater in, and he failed at doing it. And it's a good thing I called PSE&G because he failed at doing it. And it would have blown us up. It's a miracle that God was with me. I definitely, I knew nothing about this, and I said, really, it didn't look right. Something did not look right. And so, good thing I did call PSE&G. And we don't have a heater, and we do have portable. I have 2 brand new ones and 1 old one, and that old one, it's not bad. It's just that it goes off and on at times. It's very powerful, and it goes off and on. You can't use it too much because it's an older thing, and so it's going to have a safeguard. It's going to go off. And I told him, let's just get those new ones that we saw. I saw something on sale, and he said, well, we'll do it in 2 weeks. I go, it's the coldest weather, and not to do that. It's great. It's warm enough by my office when I have people come, but still, the rest of the house isn't. So today I get a letter from SSI saying, oh, you have such a successful business, and so we don't think you're entitled to get your SSI and Social Security. I'm flipping out. This woman knew I don't have a heater. And all she has to do is check with PSE&G that I don't have a heater. They came here, the thing he said could have blown up if I would have hooked that up. And I didn't let my son hook it up. I can't even believe this. Now, if I have such a thriving business, why don't I have my heater installed? Why am I waiting? I'm waiting for my son. He has to change this unit because he got the wrong one. He wants to do a side vent, and he gets one that's has to be to the chimney. And we're not going to do that to save money. So he has to take that back. We didn't use it. And he called already the store, but he has to talk to the company. So at any rate, I have unbelievable to get this letter saying that I have such a thriving business. Well, I am so glad I have a thriving business. Yes, with accolades, but not with money. Where is my heater? And are they insane? I was in tears today. And how I calmed down, I just thought about it. I rationalized. I said, look, why they thought this, I thought to myself, well, I had my father passed away and he left me the little bit that he could. I mean, and he lived almost 96 years and there was hardly anything because my late mother had cancer for 25 years. So I'm thinking, I had to close my account for when I put the money in, I deposited the money. And I had to close it because I couldn't afford the overdraft fees. We were trying to restore things in the house and we kept going over. So I closed that. Then, thank God, I closed the business account because we couldn't afford that. We were going over overdraft fees. My son's fixing the house and I gave him access because he needed to go and get things to fix the house. And he's going over. I never in my life went over. I never had a shortage. But because there was so much to do in the house of repair. So he's going over and over, and I closed it. So there's proof. And I thought to myself, so, I mean, obviously, and then I told the bank the reason, the hardship, so they could check that, I'm suffering a hardship. And I can't even believe that this woman, who was not my regular rep, when I called in for the first time, I couldn't get through to her because they changed it. Now you have to give your whole Social Security number. I used to be able to just give my last 4 digits on the phone, because I get afraid that people could, take your identity by giving the whole thing over the phone. My phone has been tapped already, and definitely has been tapped because the phone company told me it was tapped. I had a fax machine and they tapped right through it. So the thing is, I get this letter saying that I'm such a thriving business, so successful. I can't believe this woman. I told her everything. I showed her all the bills that were for repair from a whole, it's been several months. It's almost a year. And she has the audacity to say that? That's abuse. Total abuse. Because I sent her, she made me, I never had to do that. Well, the other, to send every documentation. I presented whatever I was asked, but just to make me make copies. And I said, I'll send anything else. I was more than happy to. More than happy to send anything. And she knew I didn't have a heater. So where am I having a thriving business? My poor clients, they walking in, they have to step over the cords. I can't even believe this. They're telling me I'm having such a thriving business. So I called 211 today because I felt I'm suffering abuse and I need an advocate. And I thought, that they could, because I heard once a recording for 211 saying something about they help you with your heat. So I thought to myself, that they'd be an advocate. They could, help me with my heat and maybe, because I can't afford right now to put in a whole new unit again. I don't know if they're going to take this back. I mean, they said most likely they would, but we don't know for sure from the manufacturer. And even though it was never used. So I would have to go through like $20,000 or more to put a new heater in. So I don't have that. And the thing is, my son was doing it. It was, so little. He bought it, I think $1,500. And, that he was going to put it in. He was going to put it in himself. That I could afford. But, and just barely, because like I said, my father couldn't I mean, God bless him. I mean, my mom had cancer 25 years. What could he possibly leave me? And I'm having now to pay for all the bills in the house. And my son is helping a little bit, but is not, I mean, to do this repair, he's helping, but he's not able to help that much. He's a recent graduate of college. And so, and I'm a nonprofit, and I run my business like a nonprofit because I don't make it a free site. And we had a failed business venture. We were selling organic products, and not one person bought one organic product. But this woman from this SSI said to me, I have it in a letter from this other rep who used to, help me every year with the interviews, and it went back to her because I didn't know I had to say my Social Security. Went back to her, and it's saying that this woman was questioning that I have a thriving business. I was just in tears. I just couldn't believe this. Now they want to come. Computer. And like I said, I called 211 and they can't do anything unless it's an apartment. So, I mean, I this is my house. So they can't do anything for there. But they told me to call the aged office for my town. So I called, I'm in West Orange, so I called Essex County. So, I was like thinking to myself, stay calm, and I thought through, prayed to God and just thought through everything will be fine. And I just kept doing, what I could. And, talking about it helps too. I'm telling you, this is my reality show. And I hope I'm not boring you to death, but I'm trying to say this because I don't want you to suffer through if something like that happens to you. You got to think through. And, I called the right people, and I feel everything will be all right. I can't afford an attorney. So, if I wasn't doing all these nonprofit things and, a free business that they go on my site, everyone in the world, then I could, afford, but I can't doing all this. And I lost my father and the, income that he had in this home. I mean, he was, paying also the taxes with me. I mean, he couldn't do it by himself. I can't do it by myself. And the audacity, this woman to say, I have bought things, but there was no money left in the account. I closed it, but I think $3, my business account, $3. And that is insane to say that I have a thriving business. So I can't believe this. And I am thankful that there is an office of EDH. And if you have anything like that happen, call them immediately, which I did, and left my number. And hopefully, I believe that they will help me. I once had a problem with my health insurance. I had, health insurance, Medicaid, and because I'm, disabled. At any rate, so I had the health insurance and it got canceled. So I called the Department of the Aged, and I immediately got to talk to the manager. They got me in touch with the manager for Medicaid, and then I was able to rectify everything. Now, if they didn't do that, their legal department helped me. If they didn't give me the right just very serious, and I'm still having problems with that, and I can't even believe, that happened at that time, and it's just a miracle. So, it's a good thing I called 211, because no, I thought they handle it. I didn't know. I heard the recording say about the heat, so I thought they could send somebody to do the observing and then stand up for me from SSI and write a letter. But they can't. But they can, this Center for Age, they could maybe send somebody and maybe even help me with getting the heater sooner, because, like I said, we didn't anticipate that cost of $20,000 or more. He was going to do it, and it doesn't look like he can do it. It looks too complicated. I mean, he's an architect. He's not a builder, and he did a great, some great things that he had to do in the house already. And, he can't do that. He can't possibly do that. So, and I even wrote the town, because, they wanted us to do the permit was approved, and they wanted us to do the work. And then I had to tell them that we did not have the right unit. And so, and we're not going to be doing it through the chimney. And we want to do the side vent. And, I let them know. So I have proof there too. So, I just thought through it and prayed and, just, calm down immediately from that. It was very, very upsetting, to say the least. As soon as I got it, I called that, 211 office. I was in tears. And then I, just thought, the woman said she was praying for me. And I thought, yeah, I'm not, I was praying too. And everything just worked out that, I feel, everything will be okay by calling that Center for the Aged. And they have wonderful advocates to help you. So I hope you don't ever need it. I can't even believe this. But, that's nice that somebody thinks that I have such a thriving business. It's good to hear. But you don't want it this way. You don't want it because they're thinking you're saying that you have, a business that isn't thriving, and then you do, that you're a liar. Oh, my God. And I'm happy to hear that somebody thinks I have such a thriving business. Oh, boy. If I only had more than the accolades, that would be wonderful. Oh, boy. And all the power went off yesterday. Really wonderful. All the power was off, and they're saying I have a thriving business. Just wonderful. I couldn't even do my show. It's like, give me a break. Oh, I'm so rich. Brother. That is a good one. Hey. And when you paint, just, keep turning your page. You can't, put too much layers, just, one layer at a time on something you're painting. And that's why I was drying it with the sponge. I'm going to get some beige. I'm going to have to do white, and then you put your brown. So squeeze it like toothpaste from the bottom, and work your way up. Well, the good news is I read on LinkedIn that it's possible doing your reality show to make a lot of good money, which I hope one day happens. But, SSI is saying it happened already. I mean, I don't have one sponsor. I admitted to that, a few days ago. I don't have one. And I did have one offered me, but the guy just started his business. And I tell you, I knew that he was just, struggling, because the way he was talking, he was like saying he's so stressed. But I didn't know that he was working for another company too. Besides, he started his own business. He's still working for his company that he started with 5 years ago. And I just found out the oil industry is suffering so, oil and gas, it's so bad. That big industry is really, it's being rocked that they might have to go out of business. So he is going through so much, and for him to offer me to be my sponsor, he didn't have it. He didn't have that kind of money. And I knew it. And then he gave me a proposal. when I said to him, no, you can't do that. It's just not the timing. And he offered his hand in marriage to me. So I just am so glad that I didn't take the sponsor as much as I needed, but I didn't. And it's just a miracle how what worked out. But for this woman to say, I'm so struck, not one sponsor. And, I've been doing this since April, a free show, and not one sponsor. Well, at least one person offered me, and a reputable, that's Taylor James. That's my honey. And I'm glad that he offered me, but I knew, things, you're just starting out in business. You can't possibly be able to do a sponsorship for a show. But anyone out there wants to sponsor us, we're more than happy. We'll give you commercials all the time. We'll interview anyone from your company all the time. All those things will come free. We'll even do social media all the time. I'm number 1% top on LinkedIn. And I definitely would, be mentioning constantly. Be very thankful, very grateful. But I can't believe this woman that she never interviewed me before, and she interviews me and says this in a report. God, thriving business. Oh my God. How much am I making? This is it, lady, and under. Oh, brother. If I was in California, I think people would have bought the organic food, but not one person bought our organic food. And we, bought a whole bunch of stuff to sell, and then it went nowhere. We were the only one that used it. And I tell you, it's just amazing that this woman wrote that. I gave her all the bills for almost a year showing what we were doing. And then she has the audacity to say that I have a thriving business. Oh, and my son kept cutting costs, for electricity. I told you my light gets dim now and then because he put all these things that shut it down. So, I mean, why would we do that? Why would I want to economize, like that if I didn't need to? I don't want my lights going off in the middle of my show. And he's putting this in, and I didn't know what he was doing. I thought he was, putting it in. It's going to be, on timer. It just goes on when you go in, and then, it stays on. I thought. I didn't know what he was doing, that it was turning off. So he has to adjust it. He still hasn't adjusted it. I don't know. Most of the time it goes off. Now, now and then I see it like getting dark, and I have to raise my hand. So, this woman saying we're so successful. Yeah, that's why I have to implement these things. Oh, and walking the dog, lovely. Lovely. The light was going off on me. Oh, yeah, I am just so wealthy that I needed to put these lights in. Please. Well, the good news is that you save a lot of money doing it, I have to admit. But the bad news is, he's got to make these adjustments. He can't have these shutting off this much. Not in the middle of my show, not when I'm outside walking the dog. Well, now I'm not because, the weather, most of the time I'm just inside. But when I had to go out and it went total darkness, you leave the stoop and it goes just black. And he bought me an iridescent collar, it goes on and lights up. But the battery went, so now I don't even have that. It went so fast, and he has to go get a battery, or I guess to order it. And we don't even have, the money to do that right now. But I'm telling you, unbelievable. Well, for those that, do violate, I mean, that's terrible that they do that. But this is definitely not the person violating. I have proof my clients are stepping over why the extension cord for the heaters. Oh, gosh. Yeah, we don't want to blow the fuses, so we put one that's going down to the basement, which is on a separate line from the house. So, so I have one cord that you have to step over, but it's a long extension thing. Give me a break. Well, it's a good thing I got my art, because I swear, if I didn't have my art, I don't know what I would be doing at this point. I tell you, when I got that letter, I was like in tears and just so upset and so furious. But if I didn't have this art to calm me down, and the fact that I believe in God strongly, those two things. Uh-oh. It looks like something froze here. I hope it comes back on. Google Hangouts is freezing. Uh-oh. I think it's okay now. Oh, now it's like I'm in the fog on my screen. Oh gosh. I hope and pray it comes back on. It's no clarity whatsoever on my screen. I hope it's not that way on your screen. And it's a good thing I had my puppy yesterday because he kept me warm when the heat went off. Oh, gosh. My son told me the reverse way of putting the switches on, that, from the electrical box. And he was at work and he was busy and he made a mistake. He's working hard at his job. Then he does a lot of volunteerism and he just made an error. And he told me to do it the wrong way. So now I know switches go up that are on, up on top, and switches that are down go down. I mean, that's what I thought it would be, but I never did it before. And so I had to rely on my son doing it, or my father, and I asked him to mark it for me, and he didn't mark it for me. I need to see, big letters. And, because if the lights go out, I'm working with a little teeny flashlight trying to see what it is. And I'm a senior citizen. I can't see this little teeny printing, what it says. There's something written, but it's too tiny for me to see. Maybe 20 years ago I could see it. But at any rate, I'm a senior citizen. I can't see it. So he tells me the backwards way, and I was afraid it would blow up. I'm not going to start touching it. And if he didn't come home soon, I would have, had to call the fire department. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't get it back on. This old, heater. It can't always stay on. It goes off and on. He fixed it, but it, still once in a while, it's going to go off. And now he showed me how, you reset it, how to reset it, which he never showed me. I swear. So I'm like, unbelievable. Oh, but this woman says I am so successful. That is great. Really great. Yeah. Have a great striving business. Exact words. Oh. Well, the only thing I have going for me is my accolades, like ambassador of poetry for the United States, different things like that. But I definitely don't have the finances. I wish I did. Oh, boy. I got a very nice compliment from one of my followers. He's a great chef, and he said, Malik, he's on LinkedIn, and he's wonderful. In Facebook, he's on there too. He's one of my friends. And he said that I'm the best cook in the world. I was so happy. He was a head chef in a big restaurant and overseas, and he said that. I was so happy to hear that. And I thanked him, and I was humble, though, because I feel my late mother was even better, and I hope I get as good as her. She was superb, really superb. And I, get my cooking definitely from her. She's the one that cooked. My dad was not a cook. He very little did he make anything. Just so little. But my late mother, she always cooked. God bless. Even when she had cancer, she was still cooking. I couldn't believe it. She wanted to help. I said, Mom, don't do it. Don't do it. You're not well. And she said, no, I'm going to cook. And God bless her. God bless her. She even did her charity work until the last days. She was still doing, they had fashion show, and she was doing the posters. God bless her. So she was such a trooper to do that. And that's where I get all this, I believe in doing charitable work from my late mother and also my father. He was doing always something charitable work for the veterans. Oh boy, this is not even showing up. I'm trying to get you to see what I'm doing, and there is no visibility on the screen whatsoever. God. That's not good. Finally, it came back. The screen came back out of the abyss. I don't know what's going on with this Google Hangouts. It says it's going to soon not be compatible, and I think that's what's happening. But it's going off. My computer is going off and off and off. Visual picture from Google Hangouts, not my computer personally, but Google Hangouts. It's not compatible with my computer. So my son has to do the upgrade. I can't do it. I admit I can work the computer, but I cannot do tech things. I am not capable. I do not have that ability. Now, if someone shows me I could do it, but I don't have the ability on my own to figure out things tech-wise. How to work a computer? Yes. I can do that. I hope and pray he does it before this, goes off, because I wouldn't be able to do it. And I can't afford to hire somebody to do it. Oh, but SSI says I'm so successful. So if my show goes off the air, this woman's saying I'm so successful. Oh my God. I wish I was. other than accolades, you know. And, you know, our company even donates to epilepsy. I mean, we don't have the money to do these things, but we're doing it. We're just taking every time we do a fundraiser, you know, I donate the things from Parental World Knowledge to Artist Barbara Sue Fine Art Studio, and we give 50%. And really, we need it, but we're giving it because I just can't see that these kids are dying. So, I mean, even though I need it, I just keep going. I don't know how. I'm just, you know, taking my last penny and just surviving. And just keep believing God's going to help us. And we just keep floating and getting by. But definitely, and I'm cutting every cost I possibly can. Like I said, the lights and whatever else. I just stopped my worry-free contract because I nothing was, you know, in poor repair. You know, everything, all my appliances are new and good. And so I stopped my worry-free contract. That's with the, you know, PSE&G, the gas company. So everything to cut costs. But I'll tell you, I'm just thankful for everything. And I say a prayer for everybody in the world. There should be peace. There should be good spirit, good health, good strength. Amen. And God heals 100%. And I just had a lovely email from Christian. And he's a great motivational speaker. And he stated that I am just wonderful and I'm just a blessing. He says, keep doing what you're doing. I just really needed that today. It was a very bad day. And when he said that, I just, a tear of joy is coming down my face. So I needed to hear that. I really did. Had two wonderful people, you know, tell me some wonderful things about myself today. And never to give up, he says, keep, you know, going. And, you know, hearing that today was making me feel, my gosh, I mean, they're going to take away my SSI and my Social Security. I won't be able to live in my home. So I really needed to hear that. And I just needed, you know, someone to say something and pat me on the back today. God, let them happen. Two people. So I'm getting teary-eyed out of joy. Not that I'm sad right now. I'm very, very grateful. And he really does great webinars. I wish I could have gone to his thing, but I couldn't. And motivational, great motivational speaker. Great, really great. And, you know, it's good to have someone that truly inspires you and you know, wonderful to have if you're in business and you want to be a speaker, or you want to be a trainer, whatever it is you want to do, he motivates you, so that you could be the best there is and to make money. And I do believe it's true. I do believe that, he helps you change your mindset. And I needed that. I really did. I admit I'm vulnerable to some point. I'm very strong, but how much can you take? I mean, my father passes away, and then I have this nonsense that they're saying I am so wealthy that I don't need the SSI and Social Security when I'm suffering such a hardship. And I'm going through enough emotionally. Do I need to worry that I'll be thrown out of my home? I won't be able to pay my taxes? I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. And I'm paying it, my taxes. I have to do it. My son's just helped me a teeny bit with things. And, the repairs and all that. I mean, he's helping me, but it's not that much that he's helping me. He just graduated. So, architects, they don't get at first that much. Usually you start as an intern, but he went right to being a junior architect, but he's not getting that much money from his firm in New Jersey. And he prefers to be in New Jersey so he can do his volunteer work. He had a job offer to go to New York, and he asked me what I thought, and I said, David, you want to do your volunteer work. So even though it was more money and we needed it, we really needed it, I thought the right thing is that he doesn't stop his volunteer work, because he would be miserable. He wouldn't be thriving in that. He would be burnt out. That's his personality. We're like that. My family's like that. We do volunteer work. And we would be, if we didn't, we would be miserable. It's just in our nature. I'm descended from the holiest of clergy, and we're just meant to be serving our Lord. We're raised that way, and I know that my son would have been miserable. So as much as I needed his help, I still felt the best thing was to do and still help God with doing different things to help people. So maybe we don't have a $1 million business at this point, but I feel it matters what we're doing in helping God and helping the world. My son is the same way. He said, Mom, if I took it, I would have been miserable. And I listened to you, because he asked my opinion and I gave it. And I think that's more important, that we, do what is good for us, our spirit. I know our spirit, we're alike in that sense. He could not endure being away from doing his charitable work. He would not have the time if he had to go back and forth traveling from New York. And then this particular group wanted them, all the employees, to go out on a social basis, which, I mean, it's a little strange. They wanted them to go out on a social basis. And, he had to do that too. So it would take time to travel, would take time to do that. I mean, it's good that, they want to socialize, but I mean, it had to be, it was required, actually required. I mean, that's what is a little strange. Not that, they want to do that, but I mean, it had to be a requirement with the job. So that was a little strange. I mean, that's wonderful you have camaraderie, but you know, in order to get the job, you have to be a person that wants to go out and socialize. It's like, that's a little strange. He has his, charitable work, so he wouldn't be able to do it. And I know my son, he would have been just so unhappy. Okay, well, we're going to say goodnight. I went a little bit over because it took me so long to get on. And I know you missed the painting yesterday, so I didn't want to have you miss any time, but I got to go. Got to take my little dog out, my young pup. And I thank you so much, and please keep watching. We're so grateful. Keep increasing the people that are watching us, and please, keep telling people. We're so grateful for that too. And you take care, and best to everyone. And I hope you have a good day or good night.